Okay, so here comes Fargo. I'm Roger Deakins, and I was the director of photography on the movie. It's a long time since I've seen this film. It's interesting just watching the opening credits. I remember we shot in Minneapolis, St. Paul, based in Minneapolis in Minnesota. And most of the film's meant to take place in like snowstorms. And this opening sequence, we had to wait for weeks and weeks before we got our first snowfall. And the day it really snowed, we were actually shooting on the 14th floor of a tower block, a different sequence. So actually, I sent out my assistant to shoot this shot with the transport guys, and off they went. We'd scouted the locations, and we knew exactly the camera angles. So off he went and shot this really lovely material, but neither Joel or Ethan or myself were actually there. It was one of the least snowy winters on record, I believe, in Minnesota. So a lot of the snow you see in the rest of the film is actually created with an ice chipping machine. But this was for real. Just love the music. These shots, we stood there in these empty fields when we scouted, and there was no snow or anything, and we just marked spots on the ground where the camera was going to be and what lens we were going to shoot on, because we knew when we actually got to shoot it, we wouldn't have much time. Yeah. Great Bill Macy. I've worked with Bill actually on a film called Homicide with David Mamet a few years previously, so I knew him pretty well when we did this. This was a wonderful little bar. We really didn't do much to it. Just changed a few light bulbs and had these guys sitting in this little pool of light above the table.
Be here at 7:30. What gives, man?
Shep said 8:30.
We've been sitting here an hour. He's peed 3 times already.
Oh, I'm sure sorry. Shep told me 8:30. It was a mix-up, I guess.
You got the car?
Yeah, you bet. It's out in the lot there. Brand new burnt umber Sierra.
Yeah, okay. Well, sit down then. I'm Carl Showalter. This is my associate, Geir Grimsrud.
Yeah, how you doing? So, we all set on this thing then?
Sure, Jerry. We're all set. Why wouldn't we be?
Yeah, no, I'm sure you are. Shep vouched for you and all. I got every confidence here in you fellas.
I've worked with Joel and Ethan a lot. A lot now, many times actually. We just finished the 7th film together. And they're incredibly well prepared. They know exactly the angles they want, the kind of feel of the scene. Everything's very, very structured. So the shoot becomes, even on a shoot like this, with conditions weren't exactly the easiest to work in, it was actually made a lot more comfortable, much easier to do, because we knew exactly what was needed for the scenes.
I give you a brand new vehicle in advance, and then...
I'm not going to debate you, Jerry.
Okay.
I'm not going to sit here and debate. I will say this, though. What Shep told us didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Oh, no. It's real sound. It's all worked out.
You want your own wife kidnapped?
Yeah.
My point is, you pay the ransom, what, 80,000 bucks? I mean, you give us half the ransom, 40,000, you keep half. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, okay. See, it's not me paying the ransom. The thing is, my wife, she's wealthy. Her dad, he's real well off. Now, I'm in a bit of trouble.
What kind of trouble you in, Jerry?
Well, I'm not gonna get into, see, I just need the money. Now, her dad, he's real well off.
So why don't you just ask him for the money?
Or your fucking wife, you know.
Or your fucking wife, Jerry.
Well, it's all part of this. They don't know I need it, see? Okay, so there's that. And even if they did, I wouldn't get it. So there's that on top then. See, these are personal matters.
Personal matters?
Yeah, personal matters that needn't,
Okay, Jerry. You're tasking us to perform this mission, but you won't. Oh, fuck it. Let's take a look at that Sierra.
Pre-production is very most important part of any movie, really. We spend a number of weeks just going through storyboards and looking at locations and really working out exactly what, as I said, what we want out of a sequence. This film is different in a way. I was going to come to that. Fargo is like the caption says at the beginning it's based on a true story. Well, it's based on a number of different incidences. It's not really a true story, obviously, but there were some events that happened, I think, that the boys constructed the script from. And because of that, we wanted to make it much more observational than, say, Barton Fink or Hudsucker Proxy. So it's much more. The camera work is much more restrained, really. There's not a lot of kind of fast tracks and flowery sort of camera work and camera moves. It's much more observational, much more restrained. Yeah, I mean, you see just the last sequence in the bar there with Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare, Bill Macy. It's just basically played on two simple angles. And here again in this kitchen scene, it's just they're very, very simple angles, just very sort of played very sort of straight and direct, as all those, you're just observing these people in this crazy situation. I think it really enhances the sort of the story. You don't need to add your visual sort of pyrotechnics to gloss it up, because it is this sort of very kind of bizarre story, but it's more bizarre because it's played so straight, you know. And it's such wonderful performances. I mean, you don't need to do much to that.
This could work out real good for me and Gene and Scotty.
Gene and Scotty never have to worry.
Yeah, this was cold. Again, this whole scene between these two guys in the car, it's just played on these two cross angles, these two cross single shots. It's very, very simple, but it's kind of all you need, I think. You know, a lot of times filmmakers get too involved in showing off with a camera, but it's really about characters and performance and atmosphere, you know. That said, obviously we did a few pyrotechnics, or you know, like a few dizzy sort of camera things in Hudsucker or something like that. But it's a different concept, you know, a different kind of film. A lot of the locations we went to, it was funny with Rick, the designer. We would look at these locations, and Joel and Ethan would look at each other and say, "Nah, it's too interesting." They wanted really sort of the feel of sort of bland middle America. And this location here was actually it was a little build-on location. I mean, the important thing was to have this traffic behind Bill Macy's shot here, this endless stream of people going back and forth. You know, I mean, it's a subtle thing, but it's just a comment on, you know, I don't know. It's a comment. Take it any way you want, but it's a visual gag.
All right. I'll talk to my boss.
Especially as he's a car salesman.
See, they install that true code at the factory. There's nothing we can do. But I'll talk to my boss.
These guys here, these guys, it's always the same. It's always more.
You going to the Gophers on Sunday?
Oh, you betcha.
You wouldn't have an extra ticket.
You kidding?
Well, he never done this before. But seeing as it's special circumstances and all, he says I can knock $100 off that true code.
100. You lied to me, Mr. Lundgaard. You're a bald-faced liar.
That's one of the problems of shooting in Minnesota in the winter is the amount of light you get, the amount of daylight you get. So you have to kind of shoot around the daylight. You know, you'd shoot like that scene. We shot the shot towards Bill while we had light. I think by the time we were shooting the other angle, there was no light. So it's but you're not seeing the windows, so it's all lit. That statue was built for us and stuck up by the highway there. It was funny, I don't know what people thought when they drove by it, but it was there for a long time.
I'm talking about your potential. You're not a C student.
Yeah.
Yet you're getting C grades. It's that disparity there that concerns your dad and me. You know what a disparity is?
Yeah.
Okay, well...
This is a case of that sort of simplicity of shooting, just playing this scene in that simple two-shot, and then the boy turns around and you go into singles. It's very, very simple coverage, and it's... I mean, I love that way of doing it, really.
Hon? Yeah, he's here. Yeah, I'll catch him for you. Hon?
Yeah.
It's Dad.
Okay.
Look, Dad, there's no fucking way that...
Scotty.
Hey, let's watch that language there. How you doing there, Wade?
What's going on there?
Nothing, Wade. How you doing there?
Stan Grossman looked at your proposal. He says it's pretty sweet.
No kidding.
Might be interested.
No kidding. I need the cash.
Everything is storyboarded. In a way, not so much on this film, on Fargo, but we still had storyboards of basically every setup. But I think maybe a little bit more was made up on Fargo than normally. Obviously, with a film like Barton Fink or Hudsucker Proxy, it's more important that every shot is actually boarded because some of the shots are quite elaborate. But this was boarded too. I mean, the Joel and Ethan like to do that. Like they like to be really prepared, and they like to be able to see the storyboards to see how the film actually flows together. I think it really helps them visualize and sort of pace it. You know, so just a simple shot like this with Bill Macy walks into the car mechanics there. I mean, we knew we were starting on a single and revealing the guy working under the car, and so it's very well laid out. I mean, that's not to say that when you're on location that doesn't change. I mean, it does, and obviously the shot, the shot is developed to suit the location or suit what the actors are actually going to do with it. But you see there, it's just one shot, brings Bill in, play the dialogue, and Bill walks off again. We had to shoot these close-ups in the car against this concrete side of the freeway because there was no snow left, and it was meant to be snow. It's the only place we could find where we could get away with the fact there wasn't any snow. And that one's from another place.
Sears in Chicago or John Hancock Building, whatever. You never been to Minneapolis?
Nope.
Would it kill you to say something?
I did.
No. It's the first thing you've said in the last 4 hours. That's a fountain of conversation, man. That's a geyser. I mean, whoa, Teddy, stand back, man. Shit. I'm sitting here driving, doing all the driving, man. Whole fucking way from Brainerd, driving, just trying to chat. You know, keep our spirits up, fight the boredom of the road. And you can't say one fucking thing just in the way of conversation. Well, fuck it. I don't have to talk either, man. See how you like it. Just total fucking silence. Two could play at that game, smart guy. We'll just see how you like it. Total silence.
Mr. Lundegaard, this is Riley Diefenbach from GMAC. How are you this morning?
Real good. How you doing?
Pretty good, Mr. Lundegaard. You're
I mean, the even simple little shot like this like storyboard. They just push in that, and we decided to do it through the blinds, so you got the effect of these bars in front of Bill. A subtle thing, but it's kind of nice.
It's okay. The loans are in place. I already got the what?
Yeah, the $320,000. You got the money last month.
Yeah, so we're all set then.
Yeah, but the vehicles that you're borrowing on, I just can't read the serial numbers on your application. Maybe if you could just read them.
Yeah, but the deal's already done. I already got the money.
Yes, well, we have an audit here.
And instead of cutting, the camera's just slowly pushing in, you know, as the conversation gets, more and more tedious. He gets more and more trapped. Gets more and more flustered.
See, I don't have them in front of me. Why don't I just fax you over a copy?
No, fax is no good. That's what I have, and I can't read the darn
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, I'll have my girl send you a copy then.
Okay, because if I can't correlate this note with the specific vehicles, then I gotta call back that money.
Yeah, how much money was that?
$320,000. I gotta correlate that money with the cars it's being lent on.
Yeah, okay, no problem. I'll just fax that right over to you.
No. Fax is...
I mean, send it over. I'll shoot it right over to you then.
Okay, fine.
Okay, real good then.
We're back with Katie Carlson.
Hi.
Now, before we get going here, we just want to remind...
I mean, that's a great television set, isn't it? I mean, look at that.
With Twin City Travel, we'll be leading a 2-week riverboat trip down the Nile. It's a terrific time. I know you've heard about it, and we want all of you to come with. And that's the truth. Okay, now, for those of you who just joined us...
This was the first day's shooting, actually, in this house. We were kind of lucky because we had this snow outside and we had this lovely grey light, which always makes it easier to do this sort of thing where you're looking inside out. It just really suited the scene, too, this really soft grey light. It's very funny. I always wonder what the neighbours were thinking. Again, you can see that the way it's constructed, it's just very simple shots. It's still all worked out, you know. She falls out, down onto the floor, cut, going up the stairs and then over. It's all done in very simple cuts. You don't have to cover all the action, you can just do it in pieces. Now, this bathroom was a set because we had to do more in there than we could do in the real bathroom, so there's a little roof set piece outside the windows. Yeah, this is a funny shot. Yeah, very particular shot the guys had thought about basically before the set was built or anything. They wanted this effect of him looking in the mirror and then looking at the screen on the bath, you know, the curtain. And that, it's all very calculated. And then she's running around like she's some ghost. That's back on location again, obviously. You know. Yeah, this is the building. This is the office we were shooting in the day of the blizzard when my assistant went out and shot that opening title shot. We were up here because we wanted to see the view of the countryside and the snow out the window. And it was like snowing so hard. It was the only day we got a blizzard and all the shooting. And it looks okay there. You can just see it, but it's almost white outside the window. It's like we could have been on the ground floor and just papered the windows. But you do see it here. You see a little bit.
Yeah? But we never talked about your fee for bringing it to us.
No, but Wade, see, I was bringing you this deal for you to loan me the money to put in. It's my deal here, see?
It's kind of a struggle to shoot a scene like this on the 14th floor of a building because you can't put any lights outside the window to light the set.
What are you saying?
You're saying we put in all the money and you collect when it pays off.
No, I'd pay you back the principal and interest. Heck, I'd go 1 over prime.
A bit frustrating when you go up there and the point of being there is for the view.
Talk to old Bill Deal.
He's at North Star.
He's at...
No, see, I don't need a finder's fee. I need... Finder's fee's, what, 10%? Heck, that's not gonna do it for me. I need the principal.
Well, Jerry, we're not gonna just give you $750,000.
What the heck were you thinking? If I'm only getting bank interest, I want complete security. Heck, FDIC. I don't see nothing like that here.
Yeah, but Okay, I guarantee you your money back.
I'm not talking about your damn word, Jerry. Jeez, what the heck are you...
We're not a bank, Jerry.
Well, look, I don't want to cut you out of the loop, but this here's a good deal. I assume if you're not interested, you won't mind if we move on it, independently.
Oh, this top shot here was interesting. We basically had I think we had like 50 cars that we were going to put into the parking lot here. And we got in the morning and set up the camera, and just one truck had gone through to leave that one tire track. And I said to Joel, let's not have any more cars. It's just such a great graphic, this little figure and this one car in this empty lot. So we went the way you see it. I mean, it's kind of that's how things change and ideas come on the set all the time. I mean, they're really great to work with. They're really, it's a real collaboration. You really feel you're involved in helping to make the film and helping, help create little subtleties in there. I mean, this was such a great piece too. Bill was so great in this scene. Look at that. I think that was just one take. He just had it. It was just like crazy.
Hon? Got the groceries?
Yeah, Wade, it's Jerry. Wade, it's Jerry. I don't know what to do. It's Jean. I don't know what to do. It's my wife. I don't know what to do. It's Jean.
And again, as I say, with the pre-production period so important, we all spend that time together sort of going through the locations and say, talking about the shots and how something's going to work and how one scene goes to another. And, no great big heavy conversations, but just, sort of technical conversations and aesthetic conversations about the look of the film and how we're going to do it and what's the, the most productive way of shooting it. And you know, it's a great way of working, really. It's why a film like this, I mean, it was very low budget, really. I mean, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was pretty low budget. But I mean, they make every cent count, really. This was interesting doing this sequence because, well, it comes off actually me just saying that it wasn't a very large budget, and you come and do a sequence like this where these guys are characters driving along the road in the middle of nowhere at night, and this whole sequence, and you think, well, what's the light source? What do you actually want to see? And I mean, just the practicality of trying to light, you know, empty Minnesota plains covered in snow at night. I mean, you think, well, what do you want to do? So thinking about the next cut after this sequence is you see the aftermath during the day. I mean, we went with the idea that the night scenes, these characters are surrounded by blackness, and then you cut to the day, and it's the next characters are surrounded by whiteness, and so we sort of played that concept off, really. So decided just to go with the idea of the headlights being the only light source, which it would be. I mean, it's quite naturalistic, but, you know, but there is a temptation sometimes to give yourself an horizon or light a landscape at night and see more. But actually, the interesting thing here is, I think, is seeing less. You know, so you get this inky blackness.
Hey, I'll take care of this.
This was really cold shooting this sequence. In fact, a lot of the closer shots, like this one here of Steve Buscemi and the cop coming and leaning in the window, they were actually done in a little garage that we found in Grand Rapids or something it was. We were a bit north of Minneapolis at this time. But basically it was just a tin shed, and it was just as cold in there as it was outside, so you see characters' breath in the light and everything. But I mean, again, because there was no background, we could do that. We could shoot the close-ups on this in this little stage as it was. That would have been inside too. This two-shot.
You know, to be in full compliance, but must have slipped my mind. So maybe the best thing to do would be to take care of that right here in Brainerd.
What's this, sir?
My license and registration. Yeah, I want to be in compliance. I was just thinking we could take care of it right here, in Brainerd.
Put that back in your...
We had the problem with the exteriors again because there was very little snow that year, and it was melting fast, and we were shooting a little late in the winter, I guess, and we kept on having to move our location, and in a moment you see the later part of the scene there's a car wreck. Well, we shot the car wreck in a number of different places just to have snow around it. Kept melting. We were almost about 2 miles from Canada, I think, by the time we finished the sequence. And nobody notices the landscape's different, because it isn't really different. It's just this flat white plain.
Whoa, Daddy.
You'll take care of it. You're smooth, you know.
Oh, Daddy.
Just clear him off the road.
Yeah.
It's probably about, I guess it was about -20 odd, I think, when we were shooting this. Pretty cold. We had some equipment problems. It's mainly batteries and stuff that you get problems with. I mean, the cameras themselves are, you change the lubricant in them and they're supposed to go down to -60, so we didn't really have any problems with the cameras. But I say the batteries, and we have made up some heater blankets and stuff for them and stuff. But it's just actually working in the conditions you find. I remember my key grip. He had so much gear on it. He had this huge suit. Wonderful. It was North Face suit, I think it was, and it was had polystyrene in it, like a thick, an inch deep something like polystyrene foam or something inside it. And it kept him really warm, but he couldn't move. He couldn't do any rigging or anything. His arms stuck out from his sides, and he just looked like a scarecrow. And he sort of waddled around in it, but he was really warm. It just takes a long time to work in these conditions because as soon as you take your gloves off, your hands stick to anything metal. Just the fingers stick to it. And you're on an insert car. And it's out in the open and bumping along. That was great. I like this little sequence here. I boosted the rear lights, the red lights on these cars and stuff. I love that just that red and the white. And in fact, the headlights are just giving you the sense of this snow going off into the distance. And then the car comes back, so, we had picked the angle so when Peter gets out the car, he's silhouetted against the background. And the boys wanted, Jay Todd, who's actually the storyboard artist, is the guy that's getting killed right now. He's the guy that's running away with the red jacket. So it's like the red of the brake lights and the red of his costume. But yeah, that's Jay Todd. That's the guy that does all the storyboards for them, draws the storyboards. He's funny, actually. He's just done a George Clooney film that's just about to come out, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. It's interesting the way the guys, you cut off this kind of quite active, brutal sequence and then go into this lyrical shot to introduce you to these new characters. I think there was just a wonderful little change of tone. The camera just closes on this couple in bed. It's a wonderful little introduction to another world. You've just been with these two crazy guys.
Oh, jeez. Hi, it's March. Oh, my where?
It's no cut. It's just one long little subtle move comes in and just, the scene plays out in this one nice shot.
Real good, then.
I think a lot of directors, a lot of filmmakers don't have the confidence to do that, actually. They really feel they have to cover everything. Look, the camera just pulls back as she gets up and reveals her husband. It just sort of plays.
I'll fix you some eggs.
I think we did a number of takes on this. We probably did 10 or 12 takes, probably. But that's it. When they've got it, they've got it. That's it. We don't shoot any cover. They know what they want. They have confidence that that's the shot that's going to work for that particular part of the film, and then we just move on. It's a very economic way of shooting. And then she gets up, she reveals her stomach. I mean, it's just all there in this one little shot.
Love you, Margie.
Love you, hon.
And here, we wanted this sort of blue sense of the blue dawn, first light. So, and we wanted this location where you could see the kitchen table, but you could see outside, so you could see Marge getting into the police car outside the door. I remember we spent a long time looking for this location just to get this shot and the look of the shot. You know, and then once you've got that, then you schedule it so that you can do it at the right time of day to get the blue light outside. Because obviously, if it was a bright, sunny midday light, you would never be able to do it. So. This was difficult. This was the whole thing I was saying about, you know, you see this at night with the criminals, and then now you see it in this kind of blinding white light. We were lucky in many ways that this became quite soft, misty light, because we got there in the morning and it was bright blue sky and not a cloud in sight, and it was just like, oh, I just didn't want to shoot in it because it didn't feel right. You just want the sense of this horizon bleeding into the land bleeding into the sky. And so we waited, and luckily we just managed to shoot it in little bits of cloud that came along. As I say, this isn't actually where the car crashed in the night scene. This is somewhere totally different, because by the time we came to shoot this, all the snow had melted, so we had to move north, you know.
Where's the state trooper?
Back there, a good piece, in the ditch next to his prowler.
Okay. So we got a trooper pull someone over. We got a shooting. These folks drive by. There's a high-speed pursuit. Ends here, and then this execution type deal.
I mean, this scene in particular, I mean, it was storyboarded, but I know that we actually made, you know, we worked the shots out on the location, actually. I mean, they're not, I don't think it really reflects the storyboard as closely as most of the times it does.
You see something down there, Chief?
No, I just think I'm gonna barf.
Jeez. You okay, Margie?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just morning sickness. Well, that passed.
Yeah?
Yeah, now I'm hungry again.
You had breakfast yet, Margie?
Oh, yeah. Norm made some eggs.
Yeah? Well, what now do you think?
Let's go take a look at that trooper. There's different footprints here, Lou.
Yeah?
Yeah. This guy's smaller than his buddy.
Oh, yeah?
I'm looking at that trooper on the ground now. I'm wondering if it's a dummy, but I know it's actually, we used the guy, you know, how he actually laid down there in that snow. It's pretty good.
Didn't monkey with his car there, did you?
No way.
Well, somebody shut his lights. I guess the little guy sat in there waiting for his buddy to come back.
Yeah, it would have been cold out here.
Heck yeah. You think is Dave open yet?
Dave? Well, you don't think he's mixed up in the...
Oh, no. I just want to get Norm some night crawlers. Did you look in his citation book?
Yeah. Last vehicle he rode in was a tan Sierra at 2:18 a.m. Under plate number, he put DLR. I figured they stopped him or shot him before he could finish filling out the tag number.
Uh-huh.
So I got the state looking for a Sierra with a tag starting DLR. They don't got no match yet.
I'm not sure that I agree with you 100% on your police work there, Lou.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think that vehicle there probably had dealer plates. DLR?
Oh. Jeez.
Say, Lou, did you hear the one about the guy couldn't afford personalized plates, so he went and changed his name to J3L2404?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a shot. I remember we just grabbed it before we did the scene in the morning when we got there. Just drove the police car through the shot. Just because the light looked nice. It's another case, a simple location. I mean, all we wanted was this cafe with a freeway behind it, and the guys knew that they were just going to play the scene in this 3-shot, so it really didn't matter what the interior of the cafe looked like. We just moved the table around so we could see the cars going back and forth outside. this theme of people constantly going back and forth.
No, no cops. That's final. This is my deal here, Wade.
Yeah.
Gina's my wife here.
I gotta tell you, Wade, I'm leaning to Jerry's viewpoint here. But we gotta protect Jean. We're not holding any cards here, Wade. They got them all, so they call the shots.
You're darn tootin'. Damn it.
I'm telling you.
Well, why don't we? Stan, I'm thinking we should offer him $500,000. Eh?
Now, come on here. No way, Wade. No way.
We're not horse trading here, Wade.
Yeah.
We gotta just bite the bullet on this thing.
Yeah.
So, what's the next step here, Jerry?
They're gonna call me up and give me instructions for a drop. I'm supposed to have the money ready tomorrow.
Damn it.
How was everything today?
Yeah, real good now. How you doing?
Both Joel and Ethan, they write the script, and they both really. I know Ethan's named the producer and Joel the director, and on set in the end, I think it's Joel's decision that counts. But I mean, because they've written the script and they've developed the projects together, they're so in sync. It's not a case of them ever being in conflict over anything. And you'd be on the set, and I'll ask either of them a question about a shot or something, whatever. And I know they're so in sync that it doesn't matter who I ask, really. Same with the actors, they'll both talk to the actors and give the actors directions between takes. It works wonderfully well, really. When I first started working with them, which was Barton Fink, I was nervous. I was thinking, well, if you've got two people, isn't that going to be confusing? But it's quite the reverse, really. It gives them and everybody working on the film actually more chance to have access to the director, because both of them really count,
Nothing's going wrong here. Granddad and I, we're making sure this gets handled right.
I really think we should call the cops here.
No one can know about this thing. We gotta play ball with these guys. Yeah, Stan Grossman, he'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah, but Dad...
We're gonna get Mom back for you, but we gotta play ball. That's the deal here. So if Lorraine calls, or Sylvia, you just say Mom's down in Florida with Pearl and Marty. That's the best we can do here.
This cabin was a great location. Obviously, we got a big crane in there to get this high shot. Again, very sort of specific shot they wanted to start with. But yeah, this was quite a bit further north, so it had a lot of snow around this lake. It's kind of easier to work. I mean, this was all real. Oh, well, I'll actually say that, but we enhanced it around the cabin, and all the snow in the trees around the cabin there, we did put that on the trees, I remember now, yeah.
Oops.
Lunchtime. Ron. Lily. Carol.
Oh, Janie, 2 more of those Skinzo soft, please.
Sure thing. Hiya, hon.
I brought you some lunch, Margie. What are those, night crawlers?
Yeah?
Oh, thanks, Tom.
You bet. Thanks for lunch. Oh, yeah, looks pretty good. What do we got here? Arby's?
Uh-huh.
How's the paint going?
Pretty good. Found out the Hauptmans are entering a painting this year.
Oh, hon, you're better than them.
They're real good.
They're good, Norm, but you're better than them.
You think so?
You got Arby's all over me.
Hey, Norm. How's the painting going?
Not too bad, you know.
How we doing on that vehicle?
Well, no motels registered any 10 Sierra last night, but the night before, 2 men checked into the Blue Ox, registering a Sierra and leaving a tag space blank.
Geez, that's a good lead.
Yeah,
Blue Ox, that's that trucker's joint out there on I-35.
yeah. Owner was on the desk then. Said these 2 had company.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we both did. She went to college, too.
I went to Normandale for about a year and a half.
Yeah, that's where we met.
This was a
Yeah, she dropped.
real location, obviously, with a girly bar.
But I went to high school in White Bear Lake.
I remember we all thought these 2 girls were putting the accent on, but actually they spoke exactly like that. They were really cute.
He was kind of funny looking.
In what way?
I don't know, just funny looking.
Can you be any more specific?
I couldn't really say. He wasn't circumcised.
Was he funny looking apart from that?
Yeah.
So, you were having sex with a little fella then?
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else you can tell me about him?
No. Like I say, he was funny looking. More than most people, even.
What about the other fella?
He was a little older. You know, he looked like the Marlboro Man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But maybe I'm saying that, you know, because he smoked a lot of Marlboros.
Uh-huh.
You know, like a subconscious type of thing.
Oh, yeah, that can happen.
Yeah.
Hey, they said they were going to the Twin Cities.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, is that useful to you?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually shot in the cabin, so we didn't build a set or anything like quite often you do, but basically, as much as anything, because the guys want the breath coming out. This is really important. You could see the breath coming out of this hood there that the wife's got on. It's a little thing, but it's kind of funny.
God damn it! Label, come on!
Going stir crazy in this cabin. I think this is a wonderful little scene.
Come on, plug me into the ozone, baby, come on! Come on! Fuck! 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 Fuck!
So that's sort of scene that reminds me of The Man Who Wasn't There, really. There's so many things in that scene and a few scenes in Fargo that really very similar, the way they're looking at characters to the way The Man Who Wasn't There was in terms of its observation of character.
Well, I'm turning in, Norm.
Oh, yeah?
Here it is, throwing off the larval envelope.
Hello?
Yeah, is this Marge?
Yeah?
Margie Olmsted?
Yeah? Who's this?
This is Mike Yanagita. You know, Mike Yanagita, remember me?
Mike Yanagita?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Of course I remember you. How are you doing? What time is it?
Oh, jeez. It's 11:15. I hope I didn't wake you.
No. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm down in the Twin Cities, and I was just watching on TV about these shootings up in Brainerd, and I saw you on the news there.
Yeah.
I thought, jeez, is that Margie Olmsted? I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, how the heck are you?
Okay, you know. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we never. I think we reshot one shot on this film. Actually, it was like exterior of the bar where Bill Macy drives up right in the opening. Because I mean, they didn't like it. It didn't look bleak enough the first time we shot it. But in like 7 films, I think that's maybe the only about the only time we've ever reshot anything. Very, very seldom, and very seldom do pickups or anything after the principal photography. We did a few inserts and one little not a sequence, couple of shots on Hudsucker. But other than that, I think there was one insert done on Barton Fink, you know, after principal photography. But very little. I think I don't put it down to the fact it's so, you know, it's that they conceptualize it so clearly in their heads. They know exactly what they want. They know the beats they need to make the film they see in their heads, and so it ends up they don't pick up anything or do reshoots or shoot new endings. Like, you know, seems to be the favorite thing to do in Hollywood these days. Or shoot 4 different endings and let the audience decide before you release the film, you know. No, I mean, they have a really clear concept to the kind of film they want. You know, they work a long time on the script. We never, for instance, you know, I mean, a number of films I've been on, by the time you end shooting, the script will be like a multicolored, you know, script. Pink pages, yellow pages, green pages, the full color, you know, all the colors of the spectrum by the time you're finished, because there's been so many changes done before and during shooting. But I can honestly say I've never seen a colored page on a Coen Brothers script. If the script is there when we start pre-production, and that's the script we shoot, and that's the film you see on the screen. On Barton Fink, I was the first time I worked with them. I counted. I mean, I remember looking at the film and counting the shots that weren't in the shots that we'd done that weren't in the final film. And there was one little sequence which was a little effect sequence when the John Goodman character is killing the lift manager, the lift man. And we shot the sequence where his head falls off and rolls down the floor in the corridor. And it just didn't work. So they didn't use it. But that's honestly the only time I can really remember a sequence not being used. I mean, I say there's odd shots, but in Barton Fink I counted 10 shots that we'd done that weren't in the final movie. But otherwise, it's just as we shot it, you know. It's very rare, actually, they even do structural changes. I mean, the order of things sometimes does change. I think it changed a little bit in Hudsucker. But as far as I remember, in Fargo, in this film, it's very, very much as the script. I think maybe the one or two things are ordered slightly differently, but minor things.
Hi, Norm. How you doing, Marchie? How's the fricassee?
Pretty darn good. You want some?
Oh, no, I got... Hey, Norm, I thought you was going ice fishing up at Mille Lacs.
Yeah, after lunch.
We shot a little sequence where Norman's ice fishing. That's what we did, in his hut out on the ice. But they never used that. I remember we shot him sitting by the glow of the heater with this little hole in the ice and his fishing rod. It was kind of funny. I never knew why they didn't really use that, because there's kind of a number of sequences in this film that don't really progress the plot, if you like. There's so much more about characterization and mood. I never really understood why we never saw Norm ice fishing.
Damn it, I want to be a part of this thing.
No, Wade, they were real clear. They said they'd call tomorrow with instructions, and it's got to be delivered by me alone.
It's my money, I'll deliver it. What do they care?
Wade's got a point there. I'll handle the call if you want, Jerry.
No, see, they only deal with me. You feel this nervousness on the phone there? These guys are dangerous.
All the more reason. I don't want you... With all due respect, Jerry, I don't want you mucking this up.
Interesting that the scene is shot with over-the-shoulder shots instead of just clean singles. Again, it was partly the idea of, you know, the audience observing this real story that we shot more overs, I think, in Fargo than on other films we've done together.
Hi. How you doing?
Real good. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing really super there, thanks. I'm Mrs. Gunderson. I have a reservation?
Yep, you sure do, Mrs. Gunderson.
Hey, is there a phone down here, you think? Detective Seibert? Yeah, this is Marge Gunderson from our Brainerd. We spoke? Yeah, well, actually, I'm in town here. I had to do a few things in the Twin Cities, so I thought I'd check in with you about that USFI search on Shep Proudfoot. Oh, yeah? Well, maybe I'll go visit with him if I have the... No, I can find that. Yeah, well, thanks a bunch. Oh, say, would you happen to know a good place for lunch in the downtown area? The Radisson. Oh, yeah? Is it reasonable?
All this, yeah, this was, all this snow was put in, every little bit of snow here. If you look in the far distance in this shot, the airport roof car park, there's no snow in the far distance. It all, by that time, melted in the whole of Minneapolis. So all night, this Fags guy with his ice chipping machine covered this parking lot in snow. And obviously, we just did one take because the car had to come in and it was going to take too long to cover up the tracks. So that was it. But it's fine, you know, again, confident and one take, that's fine. This is the only scene in the film where we got this bright blue sky, which I kind of hated at the time, but I mean, I guess it's all right. But we really wanted the whole film to be kind of grey and overcast, and I mean, I just don't like the look of this. Again, we put the snow in here. It's just, I don't like the look of this light at all. But, you know, you just don't have the options. You get lucky or you don't. It's not like you can say, oh, we're not going to shoot that scene today and go and do something else. Not on the kind of budget we were working with on Fargo.
You know, I decided not to take the trip, as it turns out, so...
Well, I'm sorry, sir. We still got to charge you the $4.
I just pulled in here. I just fucking pulled in here.
Well, but see, there's a minimum charge of $4. Long-term parking charges by the day.
I guess you think you're, you know, like an authority figure? That stupid fucking uniform, huh, buddy? King clip-on tie there, big fucking man, huh? You know, these are the limits of your life, man. The rule of your little fucking gate here. Here, there's your $4, you pathetic piece of shit.
Where's Shep?
Talking to a cop.
Cop?
Said there was a cop.
So do you remember getting a call Wednesday night?
Nope.
You do reside there at 1425 Fremont Terrace.
Yep.
Anyone else residing there?
No.
Well, Mr. Proudfoot, this call came in past 3 in the morning. It's just hard for me to believe you don't remember anyone calling. Now,
it's interesting when we shot this film with, let's see, I'd worked with the Coens on Hadsucker Proxy just previously, which was, you know, a lot bigger budget film. And I think it was for Warner's. And, you know, you go in a film like that and you have sort of expectations that it's going to do well at the box office, and it doesn't. And then I think it was disappointing. I mean, it's almost like that film's been discovered more recently on DVD. I mean, a number of people that come up to me and say, well, that's like a proxy with, oh, what a wonderful film. And they kind of, they more open, I think, to the nuances of it now, because stylistically films are maybe over much broader range now than they used to be in America anyway, and so it's more accessible in a funny kind of way. But anyway, you know, the box office, it bombed. I mean, you couldn't really say anything else about it. It bombed. And then the guys decided to do this small film with, you know, I guess in a way, you know, there's no pressure. It's not very much money at all. And yet it did very well. I mean, it didn't make huge money at the box office, but it made much more than its budget, and then obviously it went on to be very successful at the Academy and all. Not that anybody, certainly, they don't take any notice of that stuff, but I mean, I'm sure they're pleased that people saw this film and it was successful and gave them a bit more freedom to get finance for the next film they did, you know. I mean, that's what they care about, is having the sort of flexibility to make the films they want to make. But it's interesting. It's just impossible to know when something is going to, you know, be successful, whatever that is, or not. It does not mean to say it's a better or a worse film than another one, but somehow something will catch an audience's attention and something else won't. You know, it's that the Man Who Wasn't There, who I think it's my favourite film that I've worked on with them, and I was, you know, I mean, it got critical acclaim, but I was surprised that in a way didn't get seen by more people, maybe. But it doesn't make it a lesser film, I don't think.
Have him, oh, geez.
I love this scene. Everybody loved this scene. But it's like got no relevance to the sort of, it doesn't develop a plot or anything. You think, well, why is it there? But it's just such a wonderful scene. It's so atmospheric and bizarre and unexpected.
Marge? Jeez. Oh, you look great.
Yeah, so do you. Oh, easy there, easy there. Easy there, easy there. You do too. I'm expecting
Oh,
now.
I see that. That's great. Oh, what can I get you?
Oh, just a Diet Coke, please. Great. This is a nice place.
Yeah, you know it's a Radisson, so it's pretty good. Yeah.
So.
Just love the awkwardness of it. It's just beautifully done.
Years now. It's actually Eden Prairie, that school district. So, Chief Gunderson then. Oh, so, you went and married...
And Joel and Ethan are so great at casting these characters. You know, just populating their films with these wonderful character actors.
If you're allowed, to discuss that.
Oh, yeah, but there's not a heck of a lot to discuss.
Okay.
Well, what about you, Mike? Are you married? You got kids?
Yeah, well, I was married. I was married to... You mind if I sit over here? I was married to Linda Cooksey.
No, why don't you sit over there? I prefer that.
Huh? Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, no, just so I can see you. Don't have to turn my neck.
Oh, sure. I understand. Yeah. I didn't mean to...
No, that's fine.
Yeah. Sorry. So, I was married to Linda Cooksey. You remember Linda. She was a year behind us.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah. Yeah. So it didn't work out, huh?
Oh, and then I've been working for Honeywell for a few years now.
Oh, well, they're a good outfit.
Yeah, if you're an engineer, yeah, you could do a lot worse. But it's not. It's nothing like your achievement.
Oh, well, it sounds like you're doing really super.
It's not that things didn't work out. It's Linda had leukemia, you know. She passed away.
No.
It was tough. It was long. She fought real hard, Marge.
The fact they're just playing over the shoulders on this, I think it is more observational because you're just outside of the conversation that little bit. And if you look at Fargo, compare it with something like, you know, Barton Fink in particular, it's Barton Fink is much more sort of formal, front single shots, or Big Lebowski even more so. Actually, you know, it's really all played in singles, but here it's that observational thing. I think we're on, you know, probably a 40mm lens, which I think is probably, for me, it's closest to sort of my eye. Well, something a bit between a 32 and a 40, And it just feels like you're just sitting there watching it. It's I think, you know, the idea is I think for my job is that it's sort of like seamless, that you know, that the photography and the image doesn't really draw attention to itself when you're just immersed. And you know, that might sound odd if you think about a film like Hudsucker, where the photography is really quite in a way self-conscious, but it's just stylistically, it's hopefully it all sort of blends together, so the audience is taken into this world and this kind of visual style that has a sort of consistency to it, you know. And I'd say this Fargo is kind of simple, but we tried to give it a sort of slightly observational feel to it. Yeah.
You been to the celebrity room before with other clients?
I don't think so. It's nice.
Yeah, well, depends on the artist. You know, Jose Feliciano, you got no complaints.
This scene, we shot the theatre and the performance angle, just the wide shot. I believe in one place, and then I think because of it might be an availability or scheduling or something, I'm sure this angle of Steve at the table there was shot at a different place, at a different time.
All right. Come on. I'm hearing bells. Come on. Huh?
It was funny. I remember on this scene, Joel was teasing me because I'm an old. The whole thing's that's just lit with a 60-watt light bulb in the practical up there, and he was just teasing me. He said, "No, you just lit with a 60-watt light bulb." And this was just—it's very minimal light. There's just a light coming from the street outside. Well, it's a little thing, but I mean, the scheduling that is a sort of scene that you might expect just to black the windows and do it, but it adds so much atmosphere if you actually shoot it at night and just get the feeling of the night light and the street outside. Just that, just seeing a tree and a little bit of distance. I actually remember arguing to do that at night. But it wasn't so bad because the days were so short that, I mean, night was, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock anyway.
You fucking motherfucking son of a bitch and fucking cock! Jesus Christ! Fucking shitbag motherfucker!
All right, Jerry, I'm through.
And you look at it, just the construction of that last scene, it's all done again in just very simple little down angle, up angle. It's no sort of frantic camera work. It's all just very considered and very, very simple. And, it didn't take long to shoot at all, a few hours.
Fucking head, you got it? Okay, now you stay away from Scotty now. Got it! Okay, real good then.
Shot like that, you don't storyboard. That's sort of a shot that's just made up on the day because the location just lended itself to that kind of move.
Yeah.
It's okay, Scotty.
Where are you going?
I'll be back in a minute. If Stan calls, you just tell him I went to Embers. Jeez.
Okay. Here's your damn money. Where's my daughter?
I always laugh about this because we shot half here, this close-up, done in a totally different car than he's actually in now. I think this is a Lincoln or Pontiac or one of those things. But actually, I think the close-up was done in like a Hyundai or something. It's just the only car we got. We had time and the guys needed this close-up, so. It's so tight you don't know what it's in, really.
Who the fuck are you?
I got your damn money. Now, where's my daughter?
Oh, I am through fucking around. Drop that fucking briefcase.
I think this was the coldest night on this parking lot. This was really brutal.
Fucking instructions.
Where's my damn daughter? No Jean, no money.
Drop that fucking money.
No Jean, no money.
Is this a fucking joke here?
happy now, asshole?
It's funny, the lighting in this actually, we wanted this location with a city behind it. And the lighting's really just, I added lights to the poles. I mean, we had so many angles to do. I mean, it's not a lot of angles, but it was a lot of angles to do in one night. So the lighting is really just what you see on those poles. They're sort of just gags put in to make them look like they're actually the real practicals. And there's very little else on the floor. I mean, the tower with the smoke, steam coming out of it, obviously in the back has got a light. I think there was very minimal lighting in the background again because we didn't have the money to do a big rigging job. So there's that one big tower you see in the back of that shot. There's some lights uplighting those buildings behind there because there's a sort of graphic shot there. And then there's some other little coolant towers in the back of one shot that we put a few 2K lights on, but it's very, very minimal. And here there was just, for instance, like just doing in here, there was a couple of little lights put under these beams that he drove through. But it's the sort of thing, you just, on a small film like this, you just don't have the budget to do a big rig, and you just go with what's available and maybe just put a little bit of, tweak it with a few little units rather than adding overall lighting. But you know, it's effective. It's the kind of film, again, it's the sort of reality of it. It's fine. You don't need a lot of big units and complicated lighting setups, really. I mean, the crew on this was very small as well, you know, obviously because the budget was quite low. But again, you look at that, it's all specific shots, the point of view, come back to him, pan him through as he's looking, and cut to his house, and the car comes in. It's also, I think, so beautifully structured, and that's what Joel and Ethan do as they finish the script. They go through the script and they write their notes, and they do, Joel does, and Ethan, they both do little pencil sketches, and then we sit and talk about it, and then J. Todd Anderson, the storyboard artist, comes in and over a period of weeks does a full storyboard of the whole movie in detail. And even if it's just, you know, two people sitting at the kitchen table scene, they'll storyboard it to say that they want singles or they want overs or there's a two-shot involved. And it's great because when you start the day's work, you know, you'll have gone through you've gone through the schedule with the AD and the production manager, whatever, and then and worked out how best to structure the whole film in terms of shooting order, and then but each day you'll know really the kind of shots that are needed for that day's work, and you can schedule how much time really you spend on each shot, and you know by a certain time you'll have to be moving on to do a certain scene, a certain shot in a scene, because otherwise you'll lose the light or whatever, you know. It makes it much more practical way of shooting.
Mr. Mora?
Yeah?
Officer Olson.
Yeah, righto. Well, so I'm tending bar down there at Eklund and Swedlin's last Tuesday.
It's a funny sequence. Originally, both these characters were going to have the hoods over their heads, so you didn't see either of them at all. And I think after we shot the scene, Joe was I think he would have liked to have done it that way. But then when we shot it, they opened them up so we could see this character's face a little bit. But, I think in reflection he'd have liked it. You just saw these two hoods.
He says, what do you think about that? And I says, well, that don't sound like too good a deal for him then.
You got that right.
Yeah, he says, yeah, that guy's dead, and I don't mean of old age. And then he says, geez, I'm going crazy out there at the lake.
White Bear Lake?
Yeah, well, at Eklund and Swedlin, that's closer to Moose Lake, so I made that assumption.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, he's drinking at the bar, so I don't think a whole great deal of it. But then Mrs. Mora, she heard about the homicides down here and thought I should call it in. So...
Oh, the scene's inherently funny because of the dialogue and everything, but I think it's enhanced by the fact that you just sit and watching these two characters in this one frame. You know, you're not cutting around, you're not seeing their faces. It's just like two guys standing out in the middle of the snow.
Well, thanks a bunch, Mr. Mora. You're right. It's probably nothing. But thanks for calling her in.
Sure. Looks like she's gonna turn cold tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Got a front coming in.
Yeah, you got that right. Jesus Christ.
Pretty gruesome, isn't it? I love that little table napkin. This was funny because we had to put the snow on the road here again. The snow was just disappearing. And Joel really wanted the snowbank all the way down to where he's planting the briefcase. You can see it's like really melting there. But no, we've got enough there. I just love this fence. Tricky thing working in snow like this is you only get one take and you've got to kind of move down, you know. Every take you move down, so by the end of you've done 6 takes, there's 6 little holes all the way along the fence. I think that's really funny. I don't know why I think that's the funniest thing. I remember that was just one take and he just fell over. It's just so great.
Oh, Valerie, I'm leaving this morning. Back up to Brainerd.
Well, I'm sorry I won't see you.
This was another location we really searched for because the guys just wanted this freeway outside. They wanted this idea of just people moving. And like the idea, I guess it's like who knows what's in the next car to arrive, who's in the next car to arrive in town. You know, another couple of serial killers or whatever. It could be anybody. I know that was the idea. But we never found exactly the right. You know, this room's pretty good, but it's still not quite right. You really wanted this. I guess it's pretty hard to find a hotel where the road suddenly turns and goes directly away from you, you know, something.
Well, geez. That's a surprise.
Hello? Mr. Lundegaard, sorry to bother you again. Can I come in?
Yeah, no, I'm kinda busy here.
I understand. I'll keep it real short then. I'm on my way out of town, but I was wondering, do you mind if I sit down? Carrying a bit of a load here.
No,
Yeah, it's this vehicle I asked you about yesterday. I was just wondering.
yeah, like I told you, we haven't had any vehicles go missing.
Okay. Are you sure? Because, I mean, how do you know? Because, see, the crime I'm investigating, the perpetrators were driving a car with dealer plates, and they called someone who works here, so it'd be quite a coincidence if they weren't, you know, connected.
Yeah, I see.
So, how do you... Have you done any kind of inventory recently?
The car's not from our lot, ma'am.
But how do you know that for sure without doing a...
Well, I would know. I'm the executive sales manager.
Yeah, but I understand.
We run a pretty tight ship here.
I know, but, well, how do they establish that, sir? I mean, are the cars counted daily, or what kind of a routine here?
Ma'am, I answered your question.
I'm sorry, sir?
Ma'am, I answered your question. I answered the darn... I'm cooperating here, and there's no,
Sir, you have no call to get snippy with me. I'm just doing my job here.
I'm not, I'm not arguing here. I'm cooperating, and there's no... We're doing all we can.
Sir, could I talk to Mr. Gustafson? Mr. Lundegaard.
Well, heck, if you wanna play games here, I'm working with you on this thing here, but okay, I'll do a damn lot count.
Sir, right now?
Yeah, right now. You're darn tootin'. So damn important to you.
I'm sorry, sir.
Ah, what the Christ. Please.
For Pete's sake. Pete's sake, he's fleeing the interview. He's fleeing the interview. How do I get an outside line here? All right. Yeah, Detective Cyber, please.
I told you it was over, and I thought I made myself very clear.
Oh, you did. You made yourself perfectly clear. But something's come up.
What?
Well, it's something kind of small, but it might be a big problem. I'm pregnant.
Huh?
I'm pregnant. I've had a doctor's test. I've got the certificates, and there's no doubt about it. I'm going to have your baby.
Now, look, sir, I can explain this. See, Robin is a student of mine. And
you should see the other guy.
You took care of all of her. No, it wasn't anything like that. You don't understand.
Oh, I read that letter she wrote. I think I understand all there is.
Fuck happened to her?
She started shrieking, you know.
Jesus. Well, I got the money. All of it. All 80 grand.
The only thing I remember about this scene, I was just looking at, is that when you see the dead wife on the floor and the stove there, it's like the stove's still on, the heating elements burning red. And I remember we had a piece of neon made up like the stove element, so you could read it like the stove was on. Silly little things you remember, but it did give the effect of it being cold and it's a little touch.
Hold on. No fucking way. You fucking notice this? I got fucking shot. I got fucking shot in the face. I went and got the fucking money. I got shot fucking picking it up. I've been there for 36 fucking hours. I'm taking that fucking car. That fucker's mine, you fucking asshole. You know, I've been listening to your fucking bullshit all week. Are we square? Are we square? Yeah, you fucking mute. And if you see your friend Shep Proudfoot, tell him I'm gonna nail his fucking ass.
His wife, this guy says she was kidnapped last Wednesday.
The day of our homicides.
Yeah.
And this guy was who?
Lundegaard's father-in-law's accountant.
Gustafson's accountant.
Yeah.
But we still haven't found Gustafson?
Looking.
Sorry, didn't copy, Lou.
Still missing. We're looking.
Copy. And Lundegaard, too?
Yeah. Where are you, Margie?
Oh, I'm almost back. I'm taking a drive around Moose Lake.
Oh, Gary's loudmouth.
Yeah, the loudmouth. So the whole state has it, huh? Gustafson and Lundegaard.
Yeah, it's over the wire. It's everywhere. They'll find him.
Copy.
Yeah, we got a lead on this.
There's the car! There's the car!
Whose car?
My car! My car! Tan Sierra! Tan Sierra!
Okay, careful, Margie. I'll send a couple cars.
Oh, look at it. I'm just so surprised how simple it is, you know? The coverage. I mean, it's really so simple. I said this here is about the only time we actually tracked with a character, where we actually, you know, moved with somebody, and it was just to get that little bit more sense of suspense there, you know? Of course, everybody talks about this sequence. Oh, it was funny. I forget the story behind that, but somebody bought it, became a valued prop. Yeah, it was funny shooting this. I mean, it's grotesque, but it was funny shooting it. Ridiculous. I'm surprised people weren't more actually aghast when they saw it, but like this was something actually, you know, I think they'd read in a newspaper account or something. I mean, somebody had, you know, there was a story that this is how somebody tried to get rid of a body. Oh, this was a funny thing. You can read the price tag on the bottom of the boot. And it's like $9.66. I mean, and it wasn't intended at all, but it's like when we saw the dailies, we just fell about laughing. I don't know why, just because it's got the price on the bottom of the boot. It's a silly thing, but it was like a really nice touch, but unexpected. That's where we shot the Norm doing his ice fishing that they never used. This was tricky because that point of view shot of the like cloudy day snow was done obviously at one time when we just managed to grab it, and then this shot here was done on a bright sunny day. And I think we did this poor man's process because it was a bright day, and I just traced the back windows and stuff. This was done in another time. And you can see, I mean, I hate it. Probably other people don't really notice, but the back window on Fran's shot is blue, and on Peter's shot it's white, and it's just because it's like different day, different light. And then you're trying to match it with points of view. I like the shot on Peter. I like that sort of contrast on his face.
And here you are. And it's a beautiful day.
I remember we shot this with Fran twice because we lost the light when we were scheduled to do it first time. See, now it's different. Yeah, now that's the day we shot it better. And then, yeah, that goes back to the first sequence again, which really doesn't match the lighting conditions of the close-ups, but there you go.
Anderson? Who? Mr. Anderson, is this your Burgundy 98 out here?
Just a sec.
Could you open the door, please?
Yeah, just a sec. Just a sec.
It was interesting, this little piece, because Joel really wanted this like a handheld sort of news kind of reportage kind of, just that effect that it's, again, going to the sort of documentary sort of realism aspect of it. I mean, obviously it works just for covering it anyway, but it's a very particular moment to go handheld. There's none in the rest of the film. And it also is a great contrast, between that character's life and then this shot of this static kind of slow move on these other characters.
They announced it.
Yeah.
So?
3-cent stamp.
You're a Mallard?
Yeah.
That's terrific.
It's just a 3 cent.
It's terrific.
Hoffman's Blue Wing Teal got the 29-cent. People don't much use the 3 cent.
Oh, for peace, of course they do. Whenever they raise the postage, people need the little stamps.
Yeah?
When they're stuck with a bunch of the old ones.
Yeah. I guess.
It's terrific. I'm so proud of you, Norm. Heck, Norm, we're doing pretty good.
I love you, Margie.
I love you, Norm.
2 more months.
2 more months.
I still like it as a movie. I haven't seen it for ages, but it's quite touching, isn't it? I think Fran's performance is quite wonderful. It's very touching. I think that end is really, really resonates. It's very interesting. It's brought back a lot of nice memories.